Hello and welcome. So today I'm going to be talking about modding. Specifically, this is going to be about like general just weapon modding. I'm going to go over some Warframe modding, but that can change a little bit depending on a lot of factors. I'm also going to go over some like general jargon and whatnot that the Warframe community and our content creators and whatnot use, and I'm going to showcase what they mean and what they're talking about so that you're a little less confused when you watch videos and you're like, what the hell is gun CO? What the heck is a 6060? I'll showcase what those are here in a minute. But for like an actual general like Warframe build, as you get like later and later into your progression in Warframe, builds for specific Warframes are going to change a little bit. Hell, builds for the same Warframe for like what you want to build for can be drastically different because of the level of customization that we have. So that's why making a general build can be a little tough, but I think that this will fit pretty well just to like get a feel for the Warframe and see how much you like them. So Dreamer's Bond here, this is going to be a really good pickup once you get this, because this is a junction reward and this is an aura mod. And then this little circle polarity here that you see, this is an omnipolarity. So this will go into any aura slot. So if this is maxed, you're going to get 14 extra capacity, and that means you get to fit more mods in your Warframe, and that's going to be really nice. Also, you just having one of these is fine. You don't need multiple mods for multiple Warframes. If you have one, it can go into whatever Warframe you want it to be, go into whatever assault rifle, shotgun, secondary, melee, whatever. You don't have to have multiple of the same named mod. You just need one of it, and then that can go into multiple weapons. Then going off of the whole junction reward little bit, we have streamline and flow. Flow increases your energy, and then streamline makes your efficiency better. So you have more energy to use abilities, and also your efficiency is higher, so you're using less energy so that you can use more abilities, which is always nice. And then just some general nice mods to have on most Warframes. Most Warframes like duration, and most Warframes like power strength. This is a good time to kind of mention that you're seeing like my builds and my mods and whatnot, and they're all maxed. By no means are you meant to just have maxed mods, especially right away. So I'm going to showcase what, maxing a mod is and what the kind of opportunity cost of that is. So right now I have continuity. This is leveled up. I can max it if I want to. The cost of this is 930 Indo and about 45,000 credits. That can be a little, that's a, decent little chunk of change. So, let's dial this back. Maybe I'm not feeling that frisky today. So let's just dial this back to a rank 4 instead of a rank 5 and maxing it. So the rank 4 here says 450 Indo with 22,000 credits. That's half. That's almost a 2 times increase. Or actually, I think it's a little more than a 2 times increase going to max. So we want to set this up to just be a rank 4. This way we save that Indo and then those credits. And then we can put that towards a different mod. Oh, look at this. Intensify, the mod I just talked about. Because I said this would be pretty good to have. Hey, look, if we get this to a rank 4 and then not a rank 5, it happens to just be the amount of Indo and the amount of credits that we're saving by not maxing the other mod. And that's going to be very important to do in the early stages of Warframe. Do not worry about maxing out your mods. Just do what you can. Do not worry about maxing them, because if you try and max out your mods right away, you can kind of put your eggs into one basket. So what that looks like, or what that could be, is let's say you just want to max out redirection here. You just love shields. Shields are your thing. Well, this is 10,000 into and almost 500,000 credits. So this is very expensive. But now let's say there's a new Warframe that comes out, and let's say this new Warframe really wants like armor. Well, you kind of dumped all of your eggs into the, redirection basket over here, so now you can't really, you don't have the endo and the credits to then level up a steel fiber. So what I would recommend doing for these really big ones here, because these go up to rank 10, so what I would recommend doing is getting this to like a rank 6 or maybe a rank 7, and then just kind of leaving this alone until you acquire more and more endo. Because as we're increasing, like that's more than 1,000 endo difference going from rank 7 to rank 8. You can do a lot with 1,000 endo when you're first starting out. And you can also do a lot with about 60k credits too. So again, it's about like just making sure that you have a diverse arsenal of mods so that you can then put those mods into your warframes, companions, shotguns, assault rifles, melees, whatever. The more mods that you have, the stronger that you can make your arsenal become. And this does not happen, necessarily overnight. This is going to happen over your progression of Warframe. This will happen over time, I assure you. Just leaving your mods, like 2 from the top, 1 from the top, 4 from the top even, it's going to be fine. I did the same thing when I started playing, and it saved me so much headache and time and saved me a bunch of resources so that I could use multiple different things to, you know, accelerate my account and to build things that I really like to build. So that's about it for the just general Warframe modding. Now we're going to move on to like general weapons. So for weapons, there are 3 main factors. Technically there's 4, but I'm just going to say there's 3. There's going to be base damage, your elements, and then your crit. The 4th one that you're going to hear about is going to be banes or faction damage. These are really good like multipliers in a big way, because these basically allow you to double dip your damage. These, especially when you're first starting out, do not worry about these, because none of this is going to be necessary at all. As you can see, like these are the prime mods, and I don't have these leveled because I don't really choose to use them. Because if you're not, like this one, the prime bane of the infested, unless you're fighting the infested, this mod doesn't work. So you have to constantly either change out the mod or change the configuration that has like the faction that you want to kill in it. So again, is it strong? Yes. Is it worth it? To me, not really. But that is a way that you can increase your damage, but I'm not going to be showcasing that because, 1, you're not going to really get to it anytime soon, and 2, it's also not needed, like generally at all, unless you just really want to have like a big number. Which if you do, that's fine. But just going over the big 3 that I just mentioned being damage, so that's what Serration is. Serration is base damage for rifles, and for guns, multi-shot goes really well with guns because this makes it so your weapon just shoots more bullets. And then multi-shot is shown up here. So this 1.9 means it's guaranteed to shoot 1 because, well, the base of everything is 1. And then the 9 means there's a 90% chance when you pull the trigger to shoot a second bullet. And that's just, well, you're shooting your gun twice basically for the cost of 1. So multi-shot when it comes to weapons and guns is very strong. It's even stronger when it comes to beam weapons. And then now we have our elements here. You see here that these are, I have the Malignant Force, and then I have Rhyme Rounds. So these are the 60/60 mods for Toxin and then Cold respectively. And then there are 60/60 mods also for Heat and then for Electricity as well, if I could find that one. Can't find it. Oh, there it is. I was hovering right over it. So it's high voltage. So when you hear in chat or you hear in a video or anything, anyone talking about a 60/60 mod, this is what they are referring to. They are talking about the 60/60 elemental mods. And then when someone mentions gun CO, this is going to happen a little later you get galvanized mods, but this is what they mean. They mean galvanized aptitude, or they mean galvanized savvy for secondaries. I forget what it is for shotguns, but it's just another galvanized gun CO for shotguns as well. So this is based off of, I'm going to jump over here to the melee here just to show this. Here we go. So this is what it's referencing, condition overload. So this gives you melee damage per status effect. That is what the galvanized aptitude and whatnot, that is what this does. So it gives you more base damage based on the amount of statuses that are applied to a target. So when you hear reference to gun CO, this is what they're talking about. It's just a lot of base damage, which, again, you're not going to have this. I'm just showing you what it is just so that you're not confused when you hear it. Your base damage, your gun CO is just going to be serration for a little while, and this is going to be more than fine, trust me. And then moving forward past the elements, we have the crit that I mentioned. Crit is going to be really good on most weapons that you acquire. There are going to be certain weapons that maybe don't care about crit. Those are, they're actually pretty damn strong weapons, honestly. But for most of them, I don't think you're going to encounter too many of those in your like beginning handful of hours, playing or even 100 hours of playing the game. So this is going to be like a good little, 6 mods that you can throw into a build, use it, and you're going to get pretty good results out of it. And then you also have these 2 flex slots here. So with these flex slots, you can just throw in, any mod that you kind of want and the build will still work. So let's throw in heat. You've probably heard that viral and heat is pretty good. So let's just throw this in and let's see what happens. What the fuck is that? Because now this says gas and cold. We just had viral. What the hell happened to the viral? What happened? What's going on here? So how Warframe reads its mods, it reads it from left and then to right, and then it goes back down to the second row, and then it reads this left to right. So what this is doing is it's reading the split chamber, it's reading the point strike, it's reading malignant force, so it's seeing that as an element, and then it's seeing the thermite rounds as another element. So it's combining these into gas. It's not seeing rhyme rounds. In order for it to see rhyme rounds, we'd have to switch them. So now it's seeing the malignant force and then the rhyme rounds to make viral. Then heat is by itself, so now we have the viral heat. And then that's how you can change mods around in order to get the elemental combinations that you need for how you're choosing to build your weapon. Because where you put these mods at, especially the elements, it really impacts how you can mod and build and change these. Because you can throw something in here and you think it's going to work like this. Well, now I have blast and toxin. That's, maybe that's what you want. Maybe that's not what you want. And it's all because, you put the wrong mod in the wrong slot. And then also, while this is on my mind, the reason why this little polarity slot here is red and then not green is because this is a mismatch. So that's a V polarity, and then I'm putting it into a dash polarity. So that's why it costs more, because the regular cost of this is just 7. And then the reason why these are green is because these polarities match, so then these get cut in half usually. Sometimes it's not exactly half, sometimes it's a little less, but it still saves you a decent amount of mod capacity. But that is why you want to try and match polarities as often as you can. And then on the mods that you can't match polarities on, you want to make it be a low-cost mod so that the extra drain isn't too much. Because if I were to... Here we go. Let's put this over here. See, this 11 cost turns into a 14 cost. So that's more than the 2-point increase from this, because as the mod has a higher capacity, if you mismatch that mod, it costs more and more and more. And you want to avoid that so that you can throw more mods into your build. And then for secondaries, this is the same philosophy, the exact same philosophy. You have your base damage, you have your multi-shot, you have your elements, you have your crit. It is the exact same philosophy. The mods are just called different names. That is it. That is going to be like the biggest difference between everything is just the name of the mods. Because everything else is basically the same. Like what they do and what the purpose is stays the same. What the name is changes. That's just the big deal here. And then for melee, again, same pretty much principle of base damage, element, crit. So that's what point strike is. And then we have the 60/60s for, well, I put the 60/60 for the melee in here, or for the electricity in here to make corrosive, just so I'm not just always using viral. But yep, it's the same kind of philosophy. Steel charge is crit, organ shatter is for crit damage. Range, you can kind of think of I don't want to say it's like multi-shot, but it kind of feels like it because the more range that you have, the faster you can build combo on your melee. And there are mods in the game, like Blood Rush here, that really work well with combo. So attacking more enemies means that you're building your combo up faster, which is going to be what you typically want to do with using your melee. And then also, you probably noticed this guy up here, the failing branch here. So these stance mods essentially just act as aura mods, like what we had on Excal earlier from the Dreamer's Bond here. So this is giving 14 more capacity, and then if we go down here to the bow, this is giving 10 more capacity because this matches. So just like with your Warframe, you want your stance mod here to match the polarity so that you get more capacity so you can put more mods in your melee weapon. And then just like with the other two, you have 2 flex slots here to go ahead and use whatever that you would like to use in here as just extras. And as you get more and more into the game and you start learning more and more about the modding, this will change a decent little bit. However, for just starting out for your first handful hundred of hours, this is going to be more than fine. And this is going to serve you well as a great template to go ahead and build and craft and mess with and play with whatever you want to do. Alright, I think that about covers just general modding. So I hope you learned something. I hope this was easy and concise, and I hope this made sense. And yeah, if you have questions, just leave a comment. I will try to answer what I can to the best of my abilities. And thanks so much for watching.